You see, first thing what we need to do is to get recognition for these domestic workers that they are workers, because till date the word used is that they are only a help, and when it is only a help, then you think it is a charitable work and something in lieu of that help you are giving. So first issue is to get them recognized as workers, and for that we want their legislation coverage. Up till now, since task force was founded in 2009, and then in ILO 2010 discussion happened, and in 2011 convention and recommendations came from there, the government of India in this task force proceeded slowly and slowly, but what we actually wanted was ratification of that convention. So trade unions are already raising this issue, and we think it is very necessary to ratify those conventions, because ratification forces the governments to make a law. We know only 7 states the minimum wages schedule, the domestic workers are up till today notified in that schedule. But at the grassroots level, practical level, nothing has happened. So our task at the moment is in those states to ask the labor departments and the state governments to initiate the process of how to set up these wages. You have put on law, but how to practice this law for part-time workers, for full-day workers, or for 24 hours worker, those who live at home itself. Then hold the issue of definition of workers. We are wanting change in the definition. It is varying state to state. We want inclusive definition appropriately to cover the gardeners also, the other cleaners also, car cleaners also. Those issues also we want to, if we keep a security guard at home, we want them to be covered under that. If it is privately, not hired from any security, but privately you have hired as brought from somewhere and put it, not through security agency. If it is through security agency, already trade unions are able to make their unions and all. So the recognition, coverage in minimum wages, we are asking government to have a national policy on domestic workers in place. Once you make a national policy, then it will not be advisory to states, that will become policy of the nation. And based on that policy of the nation, then this minimum wages coverage all over India, universally it should be applied. And then the process of how to calculate wages should come up. Then the national policy of wages mean then you will have to define domestic worker also. How comprehensive and inclusive, as it was debated even in that tripartite ILO structure also. So unions can definitely play very big role, especially on these part-time workers who work in many households, if colony after colony or area after area. Similarly, unions can work with resident welfare associations. Resident welfare associations, their societies are not ready to accept that they, whomsoever they employ for that particular colony or for that society or the housing group, all those who are employed over there for maintenance of the society in different forms are the workforce. They are not ready to accept, and they keep them, and as soon as RWA elections are happen, and then they remove these people. The case is already in Delhi High Court also in one of the society's case. We are looking forward, we are telling the government, court will come out with the findings based on the existing law. If the existing law does not cover RWAs as employers, then we will be losing the case. It can only happen if national policy comes about and the definition is worked about, and then it's not only individual household, it is also the societies, housing, group housing societies which employ the workers over there. Everybody gets covered. Once it is covered, then only the legislation or the judiciary will be able to give us any relief for these domestic workers. Without that, even judiciary will be helpless, because they will be defining what is existing on law. Across the board, everywhere, these domestic workers are not being looked upon as workers per se who are doing some fruitful labor for the families in different activities. This attitude also needs to change. So unions will work in unionizing. Unionization does give them strength. Unionizing is important, laws are important, but society at large also needs to change.